Hi boys and girls, today I'm going to tell you another one of my favorite stories. Just Say Please. One rainy day in the Beast Library, me and a little teacup named Chip were playing a game called Treasure Hunt. Each clue led to another, the last one to a treat. I picked up the first card and read it. Take a look in the big red book. There's a big red book on the table, Chip said it excitedly. Drops of water splashed around us. The roof on the Beast's old castle was full of leaks that seemed to be raining inside. I dodged the drops of water and pulled a card from inside the big red book. It said, "Let's have a race to a warm, snug place." "It must be near the fireplace," Chip cried. I removed a card that was tucked behind a picture over the mantel. The clue says, "Under the rug is a great big..." I read. "A great big what?" Chip asked. "That's all it says," I said. "If you find the last clue, you'll get the answer." Chip bounced around the room until he found a card under the rug. It says, "Hug!" I exclaimed. "That's your treat." Then I gave him a big hug. Treasure hunt is lots of fun, I said happily. You know, if the Beast played games once in a while, I bet he wouldn't be so grumpy all the time, Chip said. Why don't you ask him to play sometime? I suggested. All right, Chip agreed. Just then, we heard a whistle of a tea kettle. Mama is making tea, Chip said. I'll go see if she's made tea cakes too. I settled down to read. My book had fallen under the cushion, and as I pulled it out, I felt something else. It was a piece of string with 2 keys on it. I wonder what these are for, I thought. I'll ask the Beast later. I put the keys in my pocket and began to read. Meanwhile, in the kitchen, Mrs. Potts, the teapot, was trying to make some cakes, but the water was dripping everywhere. "These leaks are awful," she told Lemire, the candelabra. I've been begging the Beast to repair the roof for weeks," he replied. Suddenly, Chip rushed in. "Mama, Mama!" he called. "Hello, dear," Mrs. Potts said. "You know it isn't polite to interrupt, and if you do, you should say, 'Excuse me.'" "Excuse me," Chip said. "May I have a tea cake?" "May I have a tea cake? What?" asked Miss Potts. May I have a tea cake, please?" "Of course, dear," his mother said. "Thank you," Chip replied. Just then, the Beast burst into the room. He grabbed 3 cakes without saying please or thank you. "I need tools to repair the roof," he said grumpily as he gobbled up the cakes. "But I can't find the keys to the tool shed." "I'll look for them, master," said Lemire. He scurried off to search for the keys. "Would you like to play treasure hunt with Belle and me sometime?" Chip asked the Beast shyly. "It's a fun game that Belle invented." "Not now, I need to find those keys," the Beast said impatiently and took 2 more cakes and stomped off. A little while later, Chip brought a cake to me. "Thank you," I said. "That was very sweet of you." "Belle, is it all right that the Beast isn't polite because he owns the castle?" Chip asked. "Everyone should try to be polite," I answered. "But it's easy to forget." Me and Chip decided that we would try to be extra thoughtful so that the Beast would notice and be polite himself. That night, Chip helped his mother serve dinner. "Would you like some more potatoes, Belle?" he asked. "Yes, please, Chip," I replied. "Thank you." "Excuse me while I bring in more gravy," said Chip. I'm proud of Chip for being so polite, I told the beast, but the beast didn't seem to be listening. He was too busy wolfing down his food. Drip, drop, the ceiling began to leak. "These leaks are terrible. They must be fixed," the beast shouted. "Clogsworth, Lemire," he bellowed. "I need you in the dining room now." The mantel clock and the candelabra came running in. Have you two seen the keys to the tool shed?" the beast demanded. "Two small keys on a piece of string." They told him they hadn't. But I remembered the 2 keys in my pocket. I knew the beast wanted them, but I also thought he could be a bit nicer to everyone. All of a sudden, I had an idea. I whispered my plan to Chip. He grinned and nodded. Then I stood up. "Excuse me," I said, "but Chip and I want everyone to join us in the ballroom in a few minutes for a special treasure hunt." "Not now," the beast growled. "It'll be worth it," I assured the beast. "I promise." Once everyone had gathered in the ballroom, I explained the game. On each card, there's a clue to help you find the next card. Each clue also ends with a missing rhyming word. The beast tapped his foot impatiently. "I'll read the first one," I said, pulling a card from my pocket. It says, "To see your face is why you use me. To interrupt, you say..." "Excuse me," Chip called. "Good, Chip," exclaimed Mrs. Potts. "You use a mirror to see your face. I think the next clue is behind the frame." Mrs. Potts took the card down and read, "A knight in armor clinks and clanks. When someone's nice, we should say..." "Thanks," Clogsworth and Lemire shouted at the same time. "This is a waste of time," the beast protested. He started to stomp out of the room, but I put my hand on his arm. "Wait 1 minute," I said. "Please." The beast hesitated, then nodded. Clogsworth took a card from the suit of armor by the door. Lemire read, "Missing keys are found with ease. If you remember to just say..." Everyone's eyes were on the beast. Now he understood that the treasure hunt was Belle's way of helping him learn to be polite. He shuffled his feet. Then he finally said, "Please?" he asked Belle. I smiled and held out the keys. The beast took them and turned to leave the room, but then he turned back. "I almost forgot," he said. "Thank you, Belle." "You're welcome," I replied happily and winked at Chip. The next day, the beast repaired the leaky roof. Clogsworth and Lemire helped him. All day, the beast remembered to be polite. He said please and thank you constantly. By late afternoon, all the leaks were repaired. "What a relief!" Mrs. Potts exclaimed when the beast had finished. "Thank you for mending the roof," Clogsworth said to the beast. "Oh, merci," Lemire added. "You're welcome," the beast replied with a grin. Thank you for listening to one of my favorite stories, Just Say Please. I hope you enjoyed it. Madeline will be reading to you next time. Bye-bye.